Lesson 4 JavaScript in JSX with curly braces. JSX lets you write HTML-like markup inside a JavaScript file, keeping rendering logic and content in the same place. Sometimes you will want to add a little JavaScript logic or reference a dynamic property inside that markup. In this situation, you can use curly braces in your JSX to open a window to JavaScript. 1. JavaScript in JSX with curly braces. JSX allows us to mix JavaScript and HTML-like markup within the same file, keeping both logic and layout together. But real interfaces often need to display dynamic content, not just fixed text. That's where curly braces come in. Curly braces open a window from JSX into the JavaScript world. Anything inside them will be treated as JavaScript, whether it's a variable, a function call, or a more complex expression. When React renders the component, it evaluates what's inside the braces and inserts the result into the output. The braces don't display themselves. They simply let you run JavaScript within your markup. 2. Parsing strings with quotes. When you're working with static text, you use quotes just like in HTML. This works perfectly for values that never change while the component runs. However, when you want to make those values dynamic, perhaps loaded from a variable, an API, or user input, you replace the quotes with curly braces. React then reads the variable or expression and uses its value instead of a fixed string. Some attributes stay in quotes because they're constant, while others use curly braces because they depend on data. 3. Using curly braces, a window into the JavaScript world. Curly braces can appear not only inside attributes, but also directly inside your JSX tags. You can use them to insert variables or to call functions that return values. If you change the variable's value, React automatically updates the rendered result because the braces make the content dynamic. You can include any JavaScript expression between curly braces, calculations, function calls, or values that come from logic in your component. The braces simply evaluate the expression and display the result. 4. Where to use curly braces. There are only two valid places to use curly braces in JSX. The first is inside tag content, where they replace part of the text with a JavaScript value. The second is inside attribute values, where they come immediately after the equals sign to make that attribute dynamic. However, you cannot use curly braces for tag names themselves. JSX needs to know which element to render in advance, so braces work only for values inside elements, not for the element type. 5. Using double curlies, CSS and other objects in JSX. When you need to pass a JavaScript object to a JSX attribute, such as when defining inline styles, you use two sets of curly braces. The first pair tells JSX that what follows is JavaScript, and the second pair defines the object itself. It's simply a JavaScript object nested inside JSX curly braces. This pattern often appears in inline styles, where each property follows JavaScript's camel case convention instead of the hyphenated style of regular CSS. For example, background color or font size are written in camel case when used this way. The double curly braces can look unusual at first, but they are nothing more than one set of braces inside another. 6. More fun with JavaScript objects and curly braces. You can make your JSX cleaner by grouping related data inside a single JavaScript object and then referencing that object's properties wherever you need them. This approach keeps your code organized and avoids having many separate variables. By grouping values like names, themes, or configurations into one object, you make your component easier to manage and update. When you reference these values in JSX using curly braces, React reads them directly from the object and updates the interface accordingly. 7. Recap. Let's summarize what we've learned about JSX and curly braces. Strings written in quotes are static values. Curly braces let you embed dynamic JavaScript expressions such as variables, function calls, and even objects. You can use them either inside tag content or as part of an attribute value. When you see double curly braces, it simply means an object inside JSX curly braces, not a new or special syntax. Curly braces are what give JSX its power. They connect your user interface to your logic, allowing JavaScript's flexibility to blend seamlessly with your component structure. JSX stays minimal and readable, while JavaScript provides the logic that brings your application to life.